The Toxic Avenger has always been the scrappy kid in the corner of cinema, low budget, loud, and absolutely unforgettable. The 1984 original is a cult classic that still drips with charm, while the 2025 reboot tries to polish the sludge, but ends up scrubbing away the soul. That's the fight on the table today. Old school Tromaville grit versus a shiny new remake that feels like it wandered into the wrong genre. And stick with me, because by the end, I'll tell you exactly which version is worth your time, and which one should have stayed buried in the toxic waste. The setup in '84 is simple but effective. Melvin, a scrawny janitor at a health club, gets bullied to the breaking point. One prank goes too far, and he takes a dive into a drum of toxic waste. Out comes Toxie, the mop-wielding monster hero of Tromaville, ready to dish out cartoonish justice with some of the most ridiculous practical gore you'll ever see. It's messy, it's tasteless, and that's exactly why it works. Fast forward to 2025, and Winston Goose takes the spotlight, played by Peter Dinklage. He's a widowed stepdad and janitor at a giant pharmaceutical company who gets diagnosed with a terminal brain condition. When insurance refuses to cover treatment, desperation leads him into a botched robbery and, no surprise here, straight into a vat of industrial sludge. He crawls out as Toxie, but this time, the world feels less like Tromaville chaos and more like a corporate dark comedy trying to imitate Deadpool. Round 1, the underdog story. The original wins you over immediately because you feel bad for Melvin. He's pathetic, awkward, and the bullies are cartoon villains who deserve what's coming. It's insane, but it builds sympathy. And when the gore kicks in, head crushes, limbs torn off, bodies stuffed in ovens, you're not cringing, you're grinning. The remake skips that underdog magic. Winston's problems should hit hard, but the movie keeps things so polished and self-aware that it never lands emotionally. Now, to be fair, even in the original, Mark Torgl wasn't under the Toxic Avenger suit. Mitch Cohen took over once Melvin transformed. But it gave the movie that classic Incredible Hulk vibe. Puny guy turns into a monster, but you still feel his soul inside. In the remake, though, that magic doesn't land. Peter is just the voice. Luisa Guerrero is in the suit, and it feels less like a rebirth and more like the role got recast mid-movie. Round 2, the Mutation. In '84, Melvin's toxic waste dive is legendary. He's chased out of the gym in a tutu, dives through a window, and lands face first into an open barrel of glowing sludge. His skin bubbles, his face melts, and pedestrians gag at the smell. It's the kind of scene that makes you want to shower afterward. And considering this was filmed in New Jersey in the early '80s, they probably didn't even need special effects. Just roll camera by the Passaic River and wait for the fumes.
That's cool.
The remake gives Winston a bigger stage, a massive vat of industrial goo inside a pharmaceutical plant. It's shinier, the effects are cleaner, and you can tell a lot more money went into making the sludge look cinematic. But that's the problem. It looks like a set piece, not a nightmare. The original made you believe Melvin was dissolving in actual Jersey runoff, which is both gross and perfect. Round 2. The smell of Tromaville beats the polish of legendary. Round 3. The villains. This is where both movies flex. In 1984, we've got Bozo, Slug, Wanda, and Julie, the Mount Rushmore of trash villains. They're cartoonishly evil, doing things so vile, you almost laugh at the audacity. Running over kids for sport, pranking Melvin until he snaps. It's offensive, it's tasteless, and it's unforgettable. They embody Tromaville, mean, loud, and smelling faintly of gasoline and egg salad.
That's 2.
The remake modernizes this with Kevin Bacon as Bob Garbinger, a corporate monster who oozes sleaze in every scene. Bacon is great and looks like he's having the time of his life. Elijah Wood plays his creepy brother Fritz, complete with stringy hair and a side hustle as the frontman of a punk band called The Killer Nuts. You also get Taylor Page as whistleblower J.J. Doherty, who adds spark and energy. They're fun, but they don't scar you the way Bozo's crew did. Bacon's great, but nobody in the reboot is mowing down kids for laughs. Advantage: Tromaville psychos. Round 4, the gore factor. 1984 didn't hold back. Heads crushed like watermelons, arms torn off and waved around like parade floats, and people cooked alive in saunas. It's shocking, gross, and hilarious all at once. Troma's gore was cheap, but it had character. Every kill looked like someone's buddy raided a butcher shop and brought leftovers to set. The 2025 remake serves gore, but it feels like a checklist. CGI blood sprays, intestines hit the floor, there's acidic pee for a gross-out laugh, and of course, the blink and you miss it monster dong gag. Outrageous? Sure. But it never sticks. Digital splatter is too clean. Troma's gore was ugly, messy, and unforgettable. Legendary's gore feels like a sanitized rest stop. Another round for the original. Round 5, the heart. This is what separates trash with charm from trash with no flavor. In the original, Melvin rescues Sarah, a blind woman, from a gang attack in a Mexican restaurant. They fall in love, and yes, it's bizarre, a hideously deformed mutant and a blind woman living in a junkyard, but it works. Their relationship gives the movie a weird sweetness that grounds all the chaos. You're rooting for Melvin not just to crush skulls, but to be happy. The remake tries to hit that same note by making Winston a stepdad who wants to be better for his family. That should have given the film emotional weight, but it barely develops that relationship. Instead of tenderness, you just get reminders that Winston is sick and desperate. There's no Sarah moment, no emotional anchor. Without that, the movie feels like sludge without substance. Original wins, again. Round 6. The tone. Tone is where cult movies live or die. The 1984 film is trash cinema at its finest. It's tasteless, offensive, and fearless. It makes you laugh at things you probably shouldn't, and that danger is why people loved it. Watching it felt like sneaking into a midnight showing of something forbidden. The remake thinks it's doing the same, but it's really just winking at you. It throws in crude gags like the butt guts unit, cracks a few meta jokes, and leans on self-aware humor that feels more Marvel than Troma. The result? It never feels dangerous. Tromaville shocked you into laughing. Legendary nudges you in the ribs and says, "Get it?" And that's not the same. Round 7. The Legacy. The '84 Toxic Avenger is more than a movie. It's a movement. It defined Troma entertainment. It spawned sequels, a Saturday morning cartoon, comic books, and even a Broadway-style musical that's way better than anyone expected. It became the face of midnight movies, the VHS you passed to your buddy and said,
You're not ready for this.
The 2025 version sets up a sequel, but who's asking for more? Legendary polished it so much that it lost the grime that made Toxie matter. You can't manufacture cult movies in a boardroom. They have to grow out of chaos. The original grew out of Jersey grime and a crew that smelled like mop water and cigarettes. The remake grew out of a studio lot, and you can feel the difference. So here's the truth. The original Toxic Avenger is raw, tasteless, and one of the most entertaining cult films ever made. It's so over the top that it becomes its own strange kind of genius. The 2025 remake has strong actors and slick production, but it forgets the two things that made Toxie work: heart and horror. Without them, it's just another corporate product dressed up as a cult film. If you want to dive into the Toxic Avenger, watch the original. Watch the stage musical too. It's surprisingly good. Skip the endless sequels unless you're a completist, and avoid this remake unless you're just curious. And seriously, where the heck is Andre Miranda? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more reviews. Until next time, stay toxic, stay trashy, and always stay rated.